"Daddy, that homeless woman looks like Mommy. When he saw her, he fainted." Michael Anderson was walking hurriedly down Fifth Avenue in New York City, holding the small hand of his son, Ethan, when the world around him suddenly stopped spinning. The 7-year-old boy tugged at the sleeve of his father's impeccable blue suit and pointed to a woman sitting on the ground, leaning against a peeling wall. "Daddy, that homeless woman looks like Mommy." The words came innocently from Ethan's lips but struck Michael like lightning. His eyes slowly turned to where his son was pointing, and when he saw the woman's face, his legs gave way. The millionaire executive collapsed on the sidewalk, sending passers-by into a panic. "Dad! Dad!" Ethan shook Michael's unconscious body, tears streaming down his young face. The homeless woman lifted her eyes at the commotion. Her dark hair was tangled, her face marked by life on the streets, but there was something unmistakable in her delicate features. She staggered closer, and when she saw the fallen man, her hands trembled. "Michael," she whispered, her voice hoarse from disuse. Ethan stared at her with wide eyes. "You know my dad?" Before she could answer, a crowd had already gathered around them. Someone called an ambulance. The woman stepped back, fear written across her face. She couldn't be there when the authorities arrived. "Wait!" Ethan ran after her, but the woman had already disappeared into the crowd. Michael woke up minutes later, still on the sidewalk, with paramedics checking his vitals. The first thing he did was look for his son. "Ethan, where's Ethan?" "I'm here, Dad." The boy appeared at his side, gripping his hand tightly. "Are you okay? Why did you faint?" Michael sat up slowly, his head still spinning. The image of that woman wouldn't leave his mind. It couldn't be. Jennifer was... She had been gone for 3 years. He had identified her himself. No, he hadn't. The doctors had said the accident was so severe that... "Sir, you need to go to the hospital," insisted the paramedic. "No, I'm fine." Michael struggled to his feet. "Ethan, that woman, where did she go?" "She ran away, Dad, but she knew your name. She said Michael when she saw you on the ground." Michael's heart raced. For 3 years, he had tried to move on from losing Jennifer. The car accident that took her had shattered his life. Ethan had only been 4 at the time and barely remembered his mother. Michael had thrown himself into his business and raising his son, trying to fill the void she left. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now, back to the story. "Dad, can we go home?" Ethan tugged at his hand, worried. "Not yet, son. I need to find that woman." Michael spent the next hours combing the streets of downtown, asking shopkeepers, other homeless people, showing an old photo of Jennifer he always carried in his wallet. Most shook their heads. Others asked for money in exchange for false leads. It was in a modest diner on Broadway that he found his first real clue. The owner, a woman in her 60s named Mrs. Jenkins, recognized the photo. "This girl..." "Yes. She comes by sometimes, always at the end of the day when there's leftover food. Never says a word, just nods in thanks. There's something different about her, you know? Doesn't seem like she was born on the streets." "When does she usually show up?" Michael could barely contain his urgency. "Usually after 6, but I haven't seen her in about 2 days." Michael checked his watch. 4:30 p.m. He decided to wait right there. Ethan ate a sandwich while Michael's thoughts raced. How could Jennifer still be alive? And if she was, why was she living on the streets? Why didn't she look for him? The hours dragged on. 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7. Nothing. "Dad, can we go? I'm sleepy," Ethan yawned. Michael was about to give up when he spotted a familiar figure across the street. It was her. The woman walked slowly, glancing around as if afraid of being followed. "Stay here with Mrs. Jenkins," he ordered his son, already heading for the... "To Jennifer!" he shouted, crossing the street without looking. The woman froze at the sound of her name. She turned slowly, and under the streetlights, Michael could see her face more clearly. It was her. Thinner, older, marked by suffering, but it was Jennifer. "Please don't," she whispered, stepping back. "You shouldn't have come looking." "For me?" "Jennifer, it's me, Michael, your husband." He tried to move closer, but she retreated further. "I know who you are." Tears streaked her dirty face. "But you don't know who I've become." It doesn't matter, my God, Jennifer, I thought you were... The accident... There was no accident, Michael. Her words hit him like a punch. He stopped mid-sidewalk, trying to process what he'd just heard. What do you mean, no accident? The police said the car was found... Jennifer hugged herself, trembling despite the warm New York night. I had to disappear, you wouldn't understand. Then explain it to me. Michael couldn't control his voice. For 3 years I suffered. Ethan grew up without a mother. How could you? You think it was easy for me? She shouted back. You think I wanted this? Just then Ethan came running from the diner. Mrs. Jenkins hurried after him, trying to catch up. Mom? The boy's voice was small, full of hope and fear. Jennifer looked at her son, her face twisting in pain. She took another step back, but Ethan was faster. He ran and hugged her legs, burying his face in her torn skirt. I knew it was you. I dream about you sometimes. Jennifer fell to her knees, clutching her son desperately. Michael watched, unsure what to do. Years of pain, anger, and longing churned inside him. My baby. My Ethan. Jennifer sobbed. Forgive me. Forgive me. Why did you leave, Mom? Ethan asked with the brutal honesty of children. Jennifer looked at Michael over their son's head. There was so much to explain, so many secrets to reveal. But here, in the middle of the street, with onlookers gathering, wasn't the place. Let's talk at home, Michael finally said. Please, Jennifer. We owe Ethan that. She hesitated, glancing at her dirty clothes, her calloused hands. I can't. Not like this. You can and you will. Michael took off his jacket and draped it over her shoulders. We're family. Or at least we were. The walk to the car was tense. Ethan wouldn't let go of his mother's hand, as if afraid she'd vanish again. Jennifer kept her head down, avoiding the stares of passers-by. Michael led the way, his mind swirling with questions. The upscale Upper East Side apartment seemed even more luxurious compared to Jennifer's appearance. She paused at the door, intimidated. A lot has changed, she murmured. I had to, Michael replied curtly. I couldn't live in the same place after what happened. Mom, come see my room. Ethan tugged her hand. I have so many drawings. So have you? As Jennifer followed her son down the hall, Michael poured himself a generous glass of whiskey. His hands shook. The woman he'd mourned for 3 years was alive, living on the streets while he and Ethan suffered without her. Half an hour later, Jennifer returned to the living room. She'd washed her face in Ethan's bathroom, and Michael could now see the marks time had left more clearly. Worry lines, sunken eyes, a fresh scar on her chin. He fell asleep, she said softly. He held my hand until he fell asleep. He did that for months after you'd left. Michael couldn't hide the bitterness. He cried every night calling for you. Jennifer shrank back as if she'd been slapped. She sat on the edge of the couch, her hands clasped in her lap. I know you must hate me. Hate you? Michael let out a humorless laugh. I mourned you, Jennifer. I arranged a funeral. People came to give their condolences, and you were alive. This whole time? Let me explain. Explain. Do you have any idea what went through my mind? Guilt for not being with you, for letting you drive alone that night? How many times I wished I had died in your place? Michael, please. And Ethan? Do you know... How many questions, he asked. Why did Mommy go to heaven? Is she happy there? Can she see us? And me having to make up answers while you were... Where? Where were you, Jennifer? She took a deep breath before speaking. On the day of the supposed accident, I found out something. Something that changed everything. Michael crossed his arms, waiting. Remember that business trip you took to Miami a few months before? What does that have to do? Let me finish, she pleaded. That week I got some medical test results, routine tests, but they showed something unexpected. The room fell silent. Michael could hear the distant sound of traffic below. The doctors found a tumor, Jennifer continued, in my brain, inoperable. They gave me 6 months to live at most. Michael felt the ground vanish beneath him. What? But why didn't you tell me? Because I knew you, she burst out. You would have dropped everything, spent every penny trying impossible treatments. You would have gone into debt, sold the company, done anything. And in the end, I would have died anyway, leaving the two of you in ruin. That wasn't your decision to make. Yes, it was. It was my life, my illness. Jennifer stood up, pacing the room. I didn't want Ethan to see me waste away. I didn't want his last memory of me to be like that. It was better for him to remember his mother, healthy, happy. So you faked your own death? Michael couldn't believe what he was hearing. I had a plan. Jennifer sat back down, exhausted. I was going to disappear, go somewhere far away, maybe the countryside. Let the illness run its course in peace, but I didn't die, she laughed bitterly. 6 months passed, a year, 2. The symptoms the doctors predicted never came. When I finally managed to get new tests at a public clinic, I found out there had been a mistake. A mix-up in the records. I never had a tumor at all. The silence that followed was deafening. Michael stared at Jennifer as if seeing her for the first time. You're telling me, he said slowly, that you destroyed our family over a medical error. By the time I found out, it was too late. Tears streamed freely down her face. How could I come back? Hi, honey, my bad, I'm not dead. You had already moved on, and I wasn't the same person anymore. Moved on? Michael stood up, furious. You think we moved on? Ethan still has nightmares to this day. I haven't been able to look at another woman in 3 years. We were trapped in your grief. I was trapped too, Jennifer shouted. Do you think it was easy living on the streets? Sleeping in the cold, going hungry, being treated like trash? But I didn't deserve to come back, not after what I did. So you decided to punish yourself by becoming a beggar. It wasn't a decision. She buried her face in her hands. At first I had some money. I rented a small room, found odd jobs. But the guilt, it consumed me. I started drinking, lost my job, lost the room. Before I knew it, I was on the streets, and it felt fitting, the punishment I deserved. Michael paced back and forth, trying to process everything. Anger battled with compassion in his chest. The woman he had loved, the woman he had mourned, was right there. Broken, but alive. Why didn't you come to me when you found out about the mistake? Pride, fear, shame, Jennifer listed. Mostly shame. How could I look you in the eyes after what I did? How could I ask forgiveness for that kind of pain? But today I ran away, she admitted. When I saw you faint, when Ethan called me, I wasn't ready. I'm still not. Michael stopped in front of the window, watching the city lights. His rational businessman's mind tried to sort through the facts, but emotions didn't fit into spreadsheets. What do we do now? He finally asked. I'll leave. Jennifer stood up. I only came to explain. You deserve the truth, but you don't deserve to carry my burden. You're not going anywhere, Michael. No, he turned to face her. You've made enough decisions for all of us. Now it's my turn. You're staying. You'll take a decent shower, sleep in a decent bed, and tomorrow we'll figure out how to handle this. I can't just... You can and you will. For Ethan, if not for me. Michael walked toward the hallway. The guest room is the second. Door on the right. There are some of my clothes in the closet. They should do for now. Jennifer stood frozen in the middle of the room, lost. Why are you doing this? After everything... Because... Michael stopped without turning around. No matter what, you're still the mother of my son. And he needs you. And you? The question came out in a whisper. Michael didn't answer. He went to his room and closed the door, leaving Jennifer alone with her ghosts. The night was long for both of them. Michael tossed in bed, swinging between anger and relief. Jennifer was alive. The woman he had loved more than anything was sleeping in the next room. But was she the same person? After everything that had happened, could they rebuild anything? In the guest room, Jennifer stared at the ceiling. The soft mattress felt strange after years of sleeping on cardboard. The scent of fabric softener on the sheets brought back memories of a life that seemed to belong to someone else. How had she gotten to this point? How had she lost herself so completely? In the morning, it was Ethan who broke the ice. The boy woke up early and ran straight to the guest room. "Mommy, you're still here!" Jennifer woke up startled, but soon smiled at the sight of her son's eager little face. I am, sweetheart. I thought I dreamed it. Ethan climbed onto the bed and snuggled next to her. Are you staying forever now? It's complicated, honey. What's complicated? Ethan had his father's stubbornness. You're my mom. This is your home. That's it. If only it were that simple, Jennifer thought, hugging. Her son. Michael found them like that when he came to call them for breakfast. The domestic scene sent a pang through his chest. How many mornings had he dreamed of something like this? Breakfast is ready, he announced from the doorway. The meal was awkward. Ethan chattered non-stop, telling Jennifer about school, his friends, his swimming lessons. Michael ate in silence, watching. Jennifer tried to keep up with her son, but her discomfort was obvious. I need to go to work, Michael said when he finished. Jennifer, take money from the kitchen drawer. Buy clothes, whatever you need. I can't accept. Ethan has class this afternoon. The school. Van picks him up at noon, Michael continued, ignoring her protest. We have a lot to talk about, but now isn't the time. After Michael left, Jennifer found herself alone with Ethan. The boy watched her with those big, serious eyes. Why is Daddy mad? He has his reasons, sweetie. But he should be happy. You came back. Jennifer stroked her son's face. How could she explain to a child that sometimes love isn't enough, that some wounds never fully heal no matter how much time passes? Let's give it time, okay? Now tell me more about your school. The morning flew by. Jennifer rediscovered the son she had left behind. Ethan had grown, developed his own personality. He was smart, sensitive, with a sense of humor he had surely inherited from her. Guilt tightened her chest with every smile of his. When the school van honked, Ethan hugged his mother tightly. You'll be here when I get back, right? I will, Jennifer promised, praying she could keep her word. Alone in the apartment, she wandered through the rooms. Photos of their old family were gone, she noticed. Michael had redecorated everything, erasing traces of her existence. Only in Ethan's room were there pictures of her carefully framed. The phone rang. Jennifer hesitated before answering. Hello? Jennifer, came a woman's voice, vaguely familiar. Oh my God, is it really you? Who is this? It's me, Amanda, your sister-in-law. Jennifer froze. Amanda, Michael's sister. They'd always been close before. Amanda, Michael just called me. I couldn't believe it. How are you alive? What happened? Where have you been? It's a long story. I'm coming over right now. My God, Jennifer, do you have any idea what we went through? What Michael went through? The call ended before Jennifer could protest. Half an hour later, the doorbell rang insistently. Amanda burst in like a hurricane. She hugged Jennifer, then pushed her back to look at her better, tears streaming down her face. You're so thin. What happened to you? Jennifer told the story again. Each time she repeated it, it sounded more absurd. Amanda's face cycled through shock, anger, and compassion. Have you lost your mind? How could you do this? I thought I was dying, Amanda. So what? You had a family, people who loved you. Amanda paced the room, gesturing wildly. Do you know how many times I found Michael crying? A grown man, a company president sobbing like a child. Please. No, you're going to hear this. Amanda was furious. He almost lost the company, you know. He spent months barely able to work. If Richard hadn't stepped in temporarily... Richard? Jennifer didn't recognize the name. His right-hand man. Competent. Maybe too ambitious. Amanda sat down, still agitated. Michael trusted him completely. Now they're practically partners. Michael never had partners. A lot has changed in 3 years, Jennifer. Amanda stared at her. The question is, what do you plan to do now? I don't know, Jennifer admitted. Part of me wants to disappear again. It'd be easier for everyone. Easier? Amanda scoffed. You've already caused too much pain trying to make things easy. Now you'll have to face the mess you made. The two fell silent. Jennifer knew her sister-in-law was right, but fear paralyzed her. How could she rebuild what she herself had destroyed? I'll help you, Amanda finally said. Not for you, but for Michael and Ethan. They deserve a chance at being a family again. Thank you, Jennifer whispered. But first, Amanda stood up. We're fixing your appearance. You can't win back a husband looking like you just survived a shipwreck. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us newcomers. Now back to the story. The next few hours were a whirlwind. Amanda dragged Jennifer to salons, boutiques, and restaurants. It felt strange returning to this world of luxury and appearances after so long living with the bare minimum. I can't do this, Amanda. Jennifer stopped in front of a mirror at the third store. I'm not this person anymore. You don't have to be, Amanda held her shoulders. But you need to find who you are now. And that's not some beggar, Jennifer. It never was. At the salon, as they styled her hair, Jennifer watched her own transformation. The woman in the mirror still bore the marks of suffering, but there was something else, dignity perhaps, or hope. You know Michael never looked at another woman, Amanda remarked casually. He said so just yesterday. Not that they didn't try, Amanda made a face. Especially this Heather from the office, blonde, young, ambitious. She shamelessly flirted with him at the company's last Christmas party. Jennifer felt a pang of jealousy, which was ridiculous given the circumstances. But he didn't even notice, Amanda continued. To Michael, you never stopped being his wife, even after you were gone. When they returned to the apartment, Ethan was already home. The boy's eyes widened when he saw his mother. Wow, you look like my friend's mums now, Jennifer laughed, her first genuine laugh in a long time. She hugged her son, breathing in the scent of his baby shampoo. Daddy's gonna be speechless, Ethan exclaimed, and he was. Michael came home, from work earlier than usual, and froze in the doorway when he saw Jennifer. For a moment his eyes betrayed the vulnerability he always tried to hide. You look good, he managed to say. Amanda helped me, Jennifer explained unnecessarily. I'll go to the kitchen and help Ethan with his homework, Amanda announced, practically dragging the boy away. Alone, the silence between them grew heavy. Michael went to the bar and poured himself a drink. We need to set some ground rules, he finally said. Of course. Ethan is the priority. Any decision we make has to consider his well-being. Jennifer nodded. Second, no lies, no more secrets. If we're going to try whatever this is, it has to be completely transparent. Understood. Third, Michael locked eyes with her. You need professional help. Therapy. What? You went through what you did. So it's not normal, Jennifer. She lowered her gaze. I know. And fourth, he stepped closer. We take it slow. Don't expect me to just forget 3 years of grief. Don't expect this to be easy. I don't expect anything, Jennifer answered honestly. I'm just grateful for the chance. Michael nodded and retreated to his office. Jennifer stood there, processing. There was hope, however small. It was more than she deserved. Dinner was less tense than breakfast. Amanda kept the conversation flowing. Ethan chimed in with stories from school. Michael participated more, though there was still a careful distance between them. Can I show Mommy something? Ethan asked after dessert. Michael hesitated but agreed. The boy ran to his room and returned with a thick notebook. I write letters to you, he explained, handing it to Jennifer. Daddy said even if you were in heaven, you could hear my thoughts. So I wrote them down. Jennifer opened the notebook with trembling hands. The first page was dated 3 years ago, the messy handwriting of a 4-year-old. Mommy. Daddy. Cries a lot, me too, please come back. Tears blurred her vision. Page after page of a child's longing, little drawings, accounts of the everyday moments she'd missed. Oh, sweetheart, she pulled Ethan into her lap. Mommy is so sorry. It's okay now. Ethan comforted her with wisdom beyond his years. You came back. Michael stood abruptly and left the room. Amanda followed him. Jennifer kept reading, the weight of her absence crushing her heart. Birthdays Ethan spent without her, Christmases, Mother's Days, all documented in her son's increasingly neat handwriting. He reads it sometimes, Michael had returned, standing in the doorway. When he misses you too much. Michael. No, he raised a hand. Not today, we've had enough emotions for one day. Ethan, bath time. "Oh, Dad? Come on, champ, school tomorrow." As Michael handled their son's bedtime routine, Amanda said her goodbyes. "It'll work out," she whispered to Jennifer. "Give him time. Michael loves you, he always has. He just needs to learn to trust again." Alone in the living room, Jennifer flipped through more pages of the notebook. One entry in particular caught her eye, dated 6 months ago. "Mommy, today a girl at school said her mom thinks you didn't go to heaven, that you left because you didn't love us anymore. I hit her. Daddy got mad at me, but then he hugged me and cried. I know you didn't run away. I know you're watching. Over us from wherever you are. I love you." The sob escaped before she could hold it back. Her boy had defended her honor while she lived like a coward on the streets. How could she deserve forgiveness? "Ethan wants to say goodnight." Michael appeared again. "Jennifer." I went to her son's room. Ethan was lying down holding a worn-out teddy bear. "This is Buddy," he explained. "You gave him to me when I was a baby." "I remember." Jennifer sat on the edge of the bed. "We bought him together at the fair." "He protected me when you weren't here," Ethan said simply. "But now you can protect us again, right?" "I'll try, sweetheart. I promise. I'll try." She kissed her son's forehead and left the room with a heavy heart. Michael was waiting in the hallway. "Thank you," she said, "for letting me be part of this." "It's the least he deserves," Michael replied. "Good night, Jennifer." "Michael, wait," she called as he turned away. "That notebook. Did you encourage him to write?" "It was the therapist's idea. Said it would help with the grieving process." Michael leaned against the wall. "It worked in a way, gave him an outlet for his feelings." "Therapist?" "Ethan had issues after your departure, nightmares, separation anxiety. Didn't want me out of his sight." Michael's voice carried the pain of the memory. "Took almost a year of therapy to get better. Another consequence of your choices," Jennifer thought. How many scars had she left? "He seems well adjusted now," she said hopefully. "Kids are resilient," Michael agreed. "But I don't know how he'll process this. A dead mother who came back sounds like a bad movie plot. We can get professional help again for all of us." Michael studied her for a moment. "Maybe. We'll see how things unfold. Good night." Jennifer returned to the guest room, but sleep wouldn't come. Her mind replayed every moment of the day, every word, every glance. There was so much to fix, so much to rebuild. Around midnight, she heard footsteps in the hallway. Michael was in the kitchen making tea. She hesitated before joining him. Couldn't sleep either. He didn't seem surprised by her presence. Habit. Developed insomnia in recent years. "May I?" She gestured to the kettle. Michael motioned for her to help herself. They stood in silence, each with their cup, the weight of unspoken words between them. "How was it?" Jennifer finally asked. "After?" Michael understood the question. "Awful. The first few months were... I have no words. Ethan asked for you constantly. I had to hire help because I could barely get out of bed. I'm sorry, Sin, it was inadequate, but all she had. Then came the anger." He continued as if he hadn't heard. "Anger at you for driving that night. Anger at myself for letting you. Anger at God for taking you. The company almost went under because I was destroying everything I touched." Jennifer gripped her cup tighter, her knuckles turning white. "It was Amanda who saved me, her and Ethan. I realized he needed a functioning father, not a ghost." Michael took a sip of tea. "So I fought. Therapy, medication, exercise. Anything to get up in the morning and care for our son. You did an amazing job. He's a wonderful boy. Not thanks to me, thanks to your memory." Michael looked at her. "I talked about you every day, showed him pictures, told stories, wanted him to know his mother, even if only through me." Silence fell between them again. Jennifer wanted to touch him, comfort him, but she had no right. "Why the streets?" Michael asked suddenly. "Of all places, why live like a beggar?" "It wasn't planned," Jennifer tried to explain. "It just happened, and when I found myself in that situation, it felt fair. Punishment for my sins." "You've always been dramatic." His voice held a trace of bitter humor. And you've always been practical, she shot back. That's why I knew you'd try to save me at any cost. So what? It was my right to try. It was my life, Jennifer countered. My choice. Our life. Michael slammed his cup on the table. We were married, Jennifer. A team. You had no right to decide alone. They stared at each other. Years of resentment and thwarted love crackling in the air. You're right, Jennifer conceded first. I was wrong, so terribly wrong, but I can't change the past, Michael. I can only try to fix the future. And how do you plan to do that? The challenge in his voice was clear. I don't know, she admitted, but I'm willing to try anything. Therapy, talking, time, whatever you think is necessary. Michael sat back down, sudden weariness weighing on his shoulders. I'm tired, Jennifer. Tired of hurting. Tired of pretending I'm fine. Tired of carrying it all alone. Then let me help, she pleaded. Let me share the burden. You are the burden. The words came out harsh but true. Jennifer recoiled as if slapped. Michael ran a hand over his face, frustrated. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to... No, she interrupted. You're right. I am the burden. I caused all of this. But burdens can be shared, Michael. They can lighten with time. Maybe. He stood up. But not today. Today is too soon. Good night, Jennifer. This time she didn't call him back. The following days settled into an awkward routine. Jennifer woke early to make coffee, trying to recreate domestic normalcy. Michael kept a polite distance, Ethan acting as their bridge. It was on a Thursday that the first crack appeared in Michael's armor. Jennifer was helping Ethan with his homework when the boy asked, Mom, why don't you and Dad sleep in the same room? The silence was deafening. Michael, reading the newspaper, tensed. It's complicated, sweetheart, Jennifer tried. Don't you love each other anymore? The innocent question carried fear. Of course we do, Michael answered before Jennifer could. But sometimes love needs time to heal. Like a bruise? Ethan struggled to understand. Exactly like a bruise, Michael confirmed, looking at Jennifer for the first time in days with something beyond pain. That night it was Michael who knocked on the guest room door. Can we talk? Jennifer made space on the bed for him to sit. Michael hesitated before accepting. Ethan got me thinking today, he began. About healing, about time. And maybe I've been unfair, he admitted. I've held on to so much anger, but I've also held on to love. Always have. Michael, let me finish, he asked. When you showed up on that street, my first instinct wasn't anger. It was relief. Pure, simple relief that you were alive. The anger came later. Jennifer waited, barely daring to breathe. I want to try, Michael finally said. I can't promise it'll work. I can't promise instant forgiveness, but I want to try for all three of us. That's all I can ask for, Jennifer whispered. Michael stood to leave, but paused at the door. Ethan's school is having a summer festival on Saturday. He'll want you there. I'd love to go. Then it's settled, he almost smiled. Good night, Jennifer. Good night, Michael. When the door closed, Jennifer hugged her pillow, hopeful tears dampening the fabric. It was a start. Small, fragile, but a start. The rest of the week passed in a mix of anxiety and anticipation. Ethan was overjoyed at the prospect of both parents attending the school festival. Jennifer tried readjusting to domestic life, rediscovering forgotten routines. Then, on Friday evening, the first real test came. The phone rang during dinner, and Michael answered. His expression shifted gradually from neutral to tense. I see, Monday then. Thanks for the heads up, Richard. When she hung up, Jennifer noticed the worry on his face. Problems? Michael hesitated before answering. Company issues. Nothing that can't wait. But Jennifer knew that look. Years of marriage had taught her to read her husband's concerns. Something was wrong. Michael, remember rule number 2, no secrets. He sighed. It's complicated. It's about contracts, possibly losing a major client. Richard is handling it, but you don't fully trust him, Jennifer finished. Michael looked at her surprised. How did you know? I know you, and Amanda mentioned he's too ambitious. He saved the company when I was in a bad place, Michael defended his partner, but doubt lingered in his voice. "Can I see the documents?" Jennifer offered. "Maybe a fresh pair of eyes will help." But forgot I studied business? That I helped with the books in the beginning?" she gently reminded him. Michael considered it. It was another step, a letting her back into this part of his life. "All right, after Ethan goes to bed." Later in the office, Jennifer reviewed spreadsheets and contracts. The familiarity of numbers calmed her. It was something concrete, rational, unlike the emotional chaos of recent days. "Here," she pointed out after an hour, "this clause, it's different from your usual standard." Michael leaned in to see, his familiar scent making Jennifer's heart race. "You're right. How did I miss that?" "You trusted Richard," Jennifer said simply. "But this change benefits his company more than yours if the client leaves." Michael looked again, understanding dawning on his face. "Son of a..." "Easy. It could be an honest mistake," Jennifer tempered, though she doubted it. "Or my dear partner might be planning to screw me over." Michael ran a hand through his hair. "I can't deal with this right now." "Let me help," Jennifer insisted. "I can review all the contracts from the past few years, discreetly." Michael studied her. "Why would you do that?" "Because I still care about you, about what we built," she answered honestly. "And because I need to be useful somehow." "All right," he agreed after a moment, "but be careful. If Richard really is up to something, it could be dangerous." "I lived on the streets for 3 years, Michael. I know how to take care of myself." A reluctant smile crossed his face. "I suppose you do." They worked together for another hour, their old rhythms slowly returning. It was almost midnight when Michael stretched. "We should get some sleep. Tomorrow's Ethan's big day." "I can't wait," Jennifer admitted. "My first school event." "He'll love having you there." Michael put away the documents. "Jennifer." "Yes?" "Thank you for your help today." "Always," she replied, and both felt the weight of the word. The school fair was an elaborate affair. Colorful banners, game booths, traditional foods. Ethan wore a country outfit, a crooked straw hat on his head. "Mom, Dad, come watch my class dance." Jennifer held back tears as she watched her son in the square dance. 3 years of lost moments weighed on her heart, but the joy of being there now outweighed the sadness. "He's happy," Michael commented beside her. "Thanks to you," Jennifer replied. "You kept him whole when I broke him." Michael didn't answer, but his hand brushed against hers. A brief touch, maybe accidental, but it sent waves of hope through Jennifer. The afternoon passed with games and laughter. Ethan dragged them from booth to booth, proud to have both parents present. Jennifer noticed the curious glances from other parents, the poorly disguised whispers. The ex-wife who came back from the dead, she caught from one group. "They say she ran off with someone else," someone whispered. "Poor Michael, having to put up with this," a third voice remarked. Michael heard it too, his face hardened, jaw tense. Jennifer touched his arm gently. "It's not worth it." "They're not entirely wrong," he murmured. "Michael, let's get some mulled wine." He changed the subject. "Ethan must be thirsty." But Ethan had disappeared. A moment of panic gripped them both before they spotted him near the stage, talking to a girl his age. "That's Olivia," Michael explained. "A classmate of his. I think our boy has a little crush." Jennifer smiled. "Takes after his father then. Always a charmer." "I only charmed one woman in my life," Michael said without thinking, then blushed. The moment hung between them. Jennifer felt the heat rise up her neck. "Michael, Mom, Dad!" Ethan came running. "Olivia wants to meet you." The moment broke, but the warmth remained. They met the shy girl and her parents. The conversation flowed naturally, as if they were just a normal family at a normal school event. It was while they were eating fried dough that trouble appeared. A blonde woman approached, a predatory smile on her face. "Michael, what a surprise to see you here." Jennifer saw her husband tense. "Heather, what are you doing here?" "I came with my sister. My nephew goes here," Heather explained, but her eyes were fixed on Jennifer. "And this must be..." "My wife, Jennifer," Michael said firmly. Heather couldn't hide her surprise. Wife? But you thought wrong, Jennifer cut in, recognizing the type. Nice to meet you. Likewise, Heather said, squeezing her hand unnecessarily hard. Michael and I work very closely together. That's nice, Jennifer smiled sweetly. It's always important to have dedicated employees. The jab hit its mark. Heather narrowed her eyes. Actually, I'm an account manager, one of the most important at the company. I'm sure you are, Jennifer kept smiling. Michael always knew how to recognize talent, professional talent, of course. Ethan, oblivious to the tension, tugged at his mother's skirt. Mum, can we go to the fishing game? Of course, sweetheart. Jennifer took his hand. It was a pleasure, Heather. Shall we, Michael? Michael followed, leaving Heather behind. When they were far enough away, he muttered, That was necessary, Jennifer finished. She clearly has ulterior motives. You figured that out in 2 minutes. Women recognize women, Michael, she shrugged. Besides, the way she looked at you. Jealous? There was a hint of amusement in his voice. Protective, Jennifer corrected. You're still my husband, technically. Technically, Michael repeated, but he was smiling. The rest of the event passed without incident. Ethan won a goldfish at the fishing game, ate too much cotton candy, and danced until he was exhausted, the picture of childhood happiness. On the way home, he fell asleep in the car, his head resting in Jennifer's lap. She stroked his hair, marveling at the trust he placed in her. It was a good day, Michael remarked as he drove. The best in a long time, Jennifer agreed. Jennifer, about Heather, you don't need to explain. But I want to, he insisted. She made a few advances. Dinners disguised as meetings, Christmas, gifts. I never encouraged it. I know. You do? I know you, Michael. Loyal to the end, Jennifer looked out the window. Even when I didn't deserve your loyalty. Silence fell again, but it was a comfortable one. When they got home, Michael carried Ethan to his room. Jennifer followed, helping change their son's clothes without waking him. Good night, sweetheart, she whispered, kissing his forehead. They left the room together. In the hallway, Michael stopped. Thank you for today, for being there. Thank you for letting me be, Jennifer replied. They looked at each other, so many unspoken words floating between them. For a moment, Jennifer thought Michael might kiss her. He leaned in slightly, then pulled back. Good night, Jennifer. Good night, Michael. Lying in bed, Jennifer touched her lips. Almost. They had almost gotten there. It was progress, no matter how small. The next day, Sunday, the family routine continued to settle in. Breakfast together, Ethan chattering about the party, Michael more relaxed, almost normal. It was while preparing lunch that Jennifer overheard the conversation in the office. Michael was on the phone, his tone tense. No, Richard, that wasn't the plan. I know it's Sunday, but fine, first thing tomorrow then. Jennifer knocked on the door. Everything okay? Michael was clearly frustrated. Richard wants to move up an important meeting, says the client is getting impatient. The same client from the suspicious contract? Exactly. Want me to come along? Jennifer offered. As your assistant or something? Michael considered it. That would be odd. Everyone knows my wife, not passed away, I know, Jennifer finished. But I could be a new hire. It's risky. If Richard is really up to something, all the more reason to have someone you trust nearby. Jennifer argued. Michael wrestled with the decision. Letting her into his professional life so deeply was another big step. All right, he finally agreed, but we follow my lead. At the first sign of trouble, you leave. Deal. Lunch was quiet, but Jennifer noticed the tension in Michael. She recognized that look, his mind already working through strategies and possibilities. Later, while Ethan watched TV, she returned to the office. Let me see everything about this client. They spent the afternoon reviewing documents. The more Jennifer saw, the more suspicious she grew. Michael, this doesn't make sense. Why switch suppliers after 10 years? Richard said they got a better offer. But look, Jennifer pointed to a spreadsheet. The numbers don't add up. The supposed savings are minimal compared to the risk of switching. Michael checked again. You're right, and there's more. What? The company that would be the new supplier. Michael typed quickly on the computer. Has ties to Richard's family's business? Group? A heavy silence fell between them. He's stealing your clients, Jennifer concluded. Seems that way. Michael slammed the laptop shut. After everything I've done for him. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. Michael stood, pacing the room. I need concrete proof and I need to protect the company. We need to, Jennifer corrected. You're not alone in this. Michael stopped, looking at her. We? If you let me help, she said softly. You already are, he acknowledged. More than you know. Ethan appeared at the door. What are you doing? Boring grown-up work. Michael ruffled his son's hair. How about some popcorn? Yay. While Michael went to make popcorn with Ethan, Jennifer kept analyzing the documents. There was something else, something she couldn't quite pinpoint. The patterns were there, hidden in the numbers. Then she saw it. Transfers, small ones, disguised as operational expenses, but consistent. Always to the same account, always after. Meetings with specific clients. Michael, she called when he returned, you need to see this. He studied her findings, his expression darkening with each line. He's taking kickbacks, commissions for stealing clients. How long have you been partners? 2.5 years. Right after, sir, Michael didn't finish. Right after I left, Jennifer said, when you were vulnerable. He took advantage. Michael's voice was pure ice. Pretended to be a friend, a savior, while plotting to rob me. What do we do now? Now? Michael picked up the phone. Now I call my lawyer. And tomorrow Richard is in for a surprise. Jennifer touched his arm. Be careful, desperate men do desperate things. Don't worry, Michael covered her hand with his. I won't let anything happen to our family. Our family. The sore words warmed Jennifer's heart. The evening passed tensely. Michael spoke at length with the lawyer, mapping out strategies. Jennifer continued compiling evidence, each new discovery worse than the last. How did I not see this? Michael chastised. Himself. You trusted him. There's no crime in trusting. There is when it costs millions, he rubbed his face. If we hadn't found it now, but we did. In time, Jennifer emphasized. Focus on what we can do, not what's past. Michael looked at her. When did you get so wise? 3 years on the street teaches you a few things, she replied lightly. Jennifer. No, she interrupted. We're not talking about that now. One problem at a time. Michael agreed, turning back to the documents. They worked late, side by side, like the old days. When they finally went to sleep, Michael paused at Jennifer's door. I know I've already said it, but thank you. I don't know if I would have figured it out without you. You would have, Jennifer assured him. It just would have taken longer. Maybe, he hesitated. Jennifer, after we settle this and we need to talk about us. I know, she whispered. When you're ready. I'm almost there, Michael confessed, closer every day. He left before she could respond, leaving Jennifer with renewed hope. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe. Fodder the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now continuing. Monday dawned tense. Michael wore his best suit, his armor for the corporate battle. Jennifer chose a discreet yet professional outfit. Remember the plan? Michael asked in the car. I'm your new executive assistant. I'm just there to take notes. And if something goes wrong, I leave immediately, Jennifer finished. Trust me, Michael, I know how to take care of myself. The company headquarters was a modern building in the financial heart of New York City. Jennifer felt a wave of nostalgia as she entered. How many times had she visited Michael there back in happier days? The receptionist nearly choked at the sight of her, but Michael walked right past, authority in every step. Good morning, Rachel. This is Jennifer, my new assistant. Has Richard arrived yet? Yes, Mr. Anderson. He's in the conference room. With Mr. Thompson, the client. Michael exchanged a glance with Jennifer. Let's go up then. In the elevator, Jennifer noticed the tension in Michael's shoulders. She touched his arm lightly. Everything will be fine. With you here, I believe that, he replied. The conference room had a panoramic view of the city. Richard had his back to the door, gesturing as he spoke to a middle-aged man. "Michael!" Richard turned with a smile too wide. "Punctual as always. Mr. Thompson, our CEO, has arrived." Richard's gaze fell on Jennifer, and she saw the exact moment he recognized her. His smile faltered, confusion crossing his face. "Richard, Mr. Thompson," Michael greeted calmly. "This is Jennifer, my new executive assistant." "Pleasure," Jennifer said simply, sitting and opening her notebook. Richard stared at her as if seeing a ghost, which Jennifer reflected wasn't entirely wrong. "Shall we begin?" Mr. Thompson seemed impatient. "Of course," Richard composed himself. "As I was saying, the supplier change will bring substantial savings." "Actually," Michael interrupted, "I'd like to present a counter-proposal." "Counter-proposal?" Richard tried to maintain his composure. "Michael, we've already discussed this." "No, Richard, you decided." Michael opened his folder. "But as CEO, I have some considerations." Jennifer watched Richard grow increasingly agitated as Michael systematically dismantled the arguments for the change. The numbers didn't lie, and Michael knew them well. "Furthermore," Michael continued, "I've discovered some irregularities in the proposed contracts." "Irregularities?" Thompson leaned in, interested. "What kind of insinuation is that?" Richard was red. "It's not an insinuation," Michael placed the documents on the table. "It's fact. Undeclared commissions, conflicts of interest. This is ridiculous." Richard stood up. "Thompson, don't believe the documents speak for themselves." Michael remained calm. "Jennifer, can you show the analysis?" Jennifer projected the spreadsheets onto the screen. Every suspicious transfer was highlighted. Every connection to Richard's family business laid bare. "This is disturbing." Thompson examined the data. "Richard, can you explain?" "These are misunderstandings." Richard was sweating. "Michael is trying to sabotage me because..." "Because?" Michael challenged him. "Go on, Richard. Tell Mr. Thompson why I'd have any reason to sabotage you." Richard looked at Jennifer again, panic clear in his eyes. "That woman, she's not who she claims to be." "You're right," Michael agreed calmly. "Jennifer isn't just my assistant. She's my wife." The room fell completely silent. Thompson's eyes widened. Richard turned pale. "But your wife," Thompson began. "It's a long story," Michael cut in. "What matters now is that we've uncovered a scheme of client diversion and bribes. Mr. Thompson, you've been used." "Used?" The client turned red. "Richard assured me that you'd get a personal commission if you brought your business to him," Jennifer suggested gently. "It's all here, in the transfers." Thompson scanned the documents with growing fury. "Is this true, Richard?" It's not what it looks like," Richard stammered. "Then explain it to me." Thompson slammed the table. "Because it looks like you were using me to steal from your own partner." "He's not my partner," Michael said coldly. "Not anymore. My lawyer is preparing the partnership dissolution papers." "You can't do this," Richard exploded. "I saved your company. When you were a wreck drinking, I kept everything running. And you took advantage of my weakness to steal from me," Michael shot back. "Yes, I was in a bad place. Yes, I needed help. But that didn't give you the right to betray me." "Betray?" Richard laughed bitterly. "You want to talk about betrayal? Your wife pretended to be dead for 3 years. It was a low blow." Jennifer saw Michael tense, but he kept his composure. "My wife's mistakes don't justify your crimes," Michael replied. "And yes, Richard, embezzlement and breach of fiduciary duty are crimes." "Mr. Anderson," Thompson stood up. "I apologize. I was deceived. I'd like to keep our original contract if that's still possible." "Of course," Michael shook his hand. "We've been partners for 10 years. I wouldn't let that end because of an opportunist." "You'll regret this," Richard threatened as he gathered his things. "I know secrets about this company, all covered by confidentiality agreements." Michael's lawyer entered the room. "Mr. Wilson, I suggest you come with me. We have documents to sign." Richard left escorted, throwing one last venomous look at Jennifer. When they were alone, Michael collapsed into his chair. "It's over," he sighed. "You were amazing." Jennifer touched his shoulder. You stayed calm, presented the facts. I couldn't have done it without you. He held her hand. Jennifer, The door opened. Heather stormed in. Is it true Richard was fired? She stopped when she saw Jennifer. You. Hello again, Heather. Jennifer greeted calmly. Michael, what is she doing here? Heather demanded. This fraud, watch your words. Michael stood up. Jennifer is my wife. Your wife is dead. Clearly not. Michael picked up his briefcase. And Heather, you're fired too. What? You can't? I can and I will. Richard didn't act alone. We found emails from you supporting the scheme. Michael walked to the door. Security will escort you to collect your belongings. You'll regret this, Heather shouted. I know things. Jennifer, let's go. Michael ignored the threats. We have work to do. They left with Heather screaming behind them. In the hallway, curious employees watched. Michael walked with his head held high, Jennifer by his side. In the office, he finally relaxed. My God, what a morning. It's over now, Jennifer said, pouring him a glass of water. The worst is behind us. Is it? Michael studied her. Everyone knows now that you're alive. They'll ask questions, Jennifer. Hard questions. I know, she sat down. I'm ready to face them. Are you really? Michael leaned in. Because from now on there's no turning back. You're officially Jennifer Anderson again. I never stopped being her, she replied softly. They locked eyes, the weight of the moment between them. Michael stood, walked around the desk, and stopped in front of her. Jennifer. Yes? He pulled her to her feet, his hands on her shoulders. I need to know, if we're going to do this, rebuild our lives, I need to know you'll stay, that you won't disappear again. Michael, promise me, he said, vulnerability clear in his eyes. Promise that no matter what happens, you won't run. I promise. Jennifer covered his hands with hers. I'll never run again. Not from you, not from Ethan, not from us. Michael studied her for a long moment. Then, finally, he pulled her into his arms. The embrace was desperate, 3 years of longing in a single gesture. Jennifer buried her face in his chest, breathing in his familiar scent. She was home. Finally home. We still have so much to figure out, Michael murmured into her hair. I know, she tightened her hold, but we're together. We can face anything together. They stayed like that for long minutes, rediscovering the comfort of each other. It was the phone that finally pulled them apart. Anderson, Michael answered, keeping one arm around Jennifer. Dad? It was Ethan. The school secretary said Mom's there, is it true? Michael looked at Jennifer. It's true, champ. Want to talk to her? Yes. Jennifer took the phone, emotion thick in her voice. Hi, sweetheart. Mom, Olivia didn't believe you came back. Can I tell everyone? Of course. Jennifer smiled through tears. Tell the whole world your mom is back. Awesome. Love you. Mom, love you too, son. When she hung up, Michael watched her tenderly. Ready to face the world? With the two of you? Jennifer laced her fingers with his. Ready for anything. The rest of the day was a whirlwind. News spread quickly through the company. Some long-time employees cried when they saw Jennifer. Others kept a cautious distance. Michael called a general meeting for late afternoon. I know you all have questions, he began, Jennifer beside him. Yes, my wife is alive. There was a misunderstanding 3 years ago. Personal matters we'd prefer to keep private. What matters is our family is together again. What about Richard and Heather? Someone asked. They've been let go for breach of trust and conduct incompatible with company values, Michael stated firmly. Daniel will temporarily take over Richard's duties. Daniel, the finance manager, nodded gratefully. Any questions about company operations? Michael steered the discussion away from personal matters. The meeting ended with murmurs. Jennifer knew it would be the talk for weeks, but it didn't matter. She was where she belonged. That evening at home, Ethan greeted them excitedly. Everyone at school was amazed. Brandon said it's just like the movies. It is a bit like a movie, Jennifer agreed, helping with his homework. Michael made dinner, the domestic scene warming Jennifer's heart. This was what she'd missed, the simplicity of everyday life. Mom, Ethan asked during dinner, Are you sleeping in Dad's room now? Silence fell over the table. Michael and Jennifer exchanged glances. Not yet, son, Michael answered carefully. So your mum and I need time to get used to each other again. But you love each other, right? Very much, Jennifer assured him, but sometimes love needs patience. Ethan seemed to accept the explanation and went back to talking about school. Later, after putting Ethan to bed, they met in the living room. He's right, you know, Michael said, pouring wine. About the room. Michael, I'm not suggesting anything, he clarified. Just saying that the door is open. When you're ready, when we're ready. Thank you, Jennifer accepted the glass. For everything. For your patience, for the chance, for today. You helped me save my company, Michael toasted lightly. We're even. It's not a competition, she smiled. No, he agreed. It's a partnership, always has been. They drank in comfortable silence. The TV was on, playing the news at low volume. Suddenly, Jennifer sat up. Michael, turn it up. On the screen, the reporter was saying, businessman Richard Wilson was arrested today on charges of embezzlement and racketeering. The investigation began after reports of irregularities at Anderson Enterprises. He was arrested, Jennifer whispered. The lawyer said it was possible. Michael sounded satisfied. Justice was served. What about Heather? She'll probably be called to testify, but I doubt she'll have the nerve to get involved further. Jennifer leaned back on the sofa. The day had been long, full of emotions and twists. Tired, Michael noticed. Exhausted, she admitted, but it's a good kind of tired, productive. You'll get used to it again, he promised. To the routine, the work. Work? Jennifer looked at him. Michael, I don't expect. I need someone I can trust, he interrupted. Someone who knows the company, who can help me rebuild after this mess. Interested? Are you offering me a job? I'm offering a professional partnership, Michael corrected. To go with the personal. One. Jennifer felt tears prick her eyes. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Michael smiled, that smile she hadn't seen in years, the one that gave her butterflies. Great. You start officially on Monday. Michael? Yes? Is kissing the boss against the rules? She ventured. He set his glass down and moved closer. Depends, is it a professional kiss or a personal one? Personal, Jennifer whispered. Definitely personal. Then there are no rules, Michael murmured before their lips met. The kiss was soft, hesitant at first. 3 years apart had created a distance that needed to be bridged. But soon the familiarity returned, the perfect fit they'd always had. When they pulled apart, both were breathless. I missed you so much, Michael confessed, his forehead resting against hers. Me too, she caressed his face. Every day, every hour. Let's not rush anything, he said, more to himself. We have time now. All the time in the world, Jennifer agreed. They said goodnight with another kiss, more confident this time. Jennifer went to her room with a light heart. There was real hope now. During the night she woke to noise. Ethan stood at her door, teddy bear in hand. Bad dream? She opened her arms. I dreamed you left again, he nestled against her. Never again, Jennifer kissed his head. I promise. Can I sleep here? Of course, sweetheart. Ethan fell asleep quickly, safe in his mother's arms. Jennifer stayed awake, listening to her son's breathing, marveling at this second chance. In the morning, Michael found them like that. He stood in the doorway, visibly moved by the sight. Good morning, Jennifer whispered. Good morning. He entered, sitting on the edge of the bed. Bad dream? Yeah, but it's over. Michael stroked Ethan's hair. He had a lot at first, would wake up screaming for you. I'm sorry, was all she could say. Shh. Michael touched her face. No more apologies. Just the present and future. Now. Ethan stirred awake at the touch. Dad. He looked around. We're all together. Yes. Michael hugged him. All together. Can we have breakfast in bed? Ethan asked hopefully. Why not? Michael surprised him. I'll prepare it. As he left, Ethan snuggled closer to Jennifer. Mom, now that you're back, can we do everything we missed? Like what, sweetheart? Birthdays, Christmases, Mother's Days, all he listed. Can we celebrate everything together? We can celebrate every day, Jennifer promised. Every day is special now. Michael returned with a carefully arranged tray. Coffee, juice, bread, fruit. They ate together in bed, Ethan between them, talking non-stop. It was domestic, messy, perfect. Can we go to the park today? Ethan asked. All together? Of course, Michael agreed. How about Central Park? Yay! The day at the park was magical. Ethan ran ahead, his parents walking hand in hand behind him. A few people recognized them, whispers following their path, but it didn't matter. Let them talk, Michael said when Jennifer tensed up. It'll be old news soon. At the lake, they rented a paddle boat. Ethan insisted on pedaling, his little legs barely reaching. Look, Mom, I'm the captain. The best captain, Jennifer agreed. Michael hugged her from behind. Happy? More than I deserve. You deserve everything. He kissed her temple. And I'll make sure you have it. In the afternoon, while Ethan played on the playground, they sat on a bench watching. Monday starts the real routine, Michael commented. Ready? To work with you? I always liked it, Jennifer recalled. Early in our marriage, before Ethan, you were my best advisor, Michael finished. You still are. Things have changed. The company has grown. But the principles are the same. He intertwined their fingers. Honesty, hard work, family. Richard almost made me forget that. It wasn't your fault for trusting, but it was my mistake not to see the signs. Michael sighed. I was so focused on surviving without you that I didn't see the snake beside me. Now you have a bodyguard, Jennifer teased. I won't let anyone take advantage of you again. My protector, he smiled. I like that. Ethan came running over, cheeks red from exertion. I made a new friend. He didn't believe my mom came back from the dead. Ethan, Michael scolded lightly. Mommy wasn't dead. But everyone thought she was, Ethan argued. It's almost the same thing. His child's logic was irrefutable. On the way back, they stopped for ice cream. A normal family, on a normal Sunday. Jennifer had to pinch herself to believe it. At home, the evening routine flowed naturally. Bath, dinner, bedtime story. Michael and Jennifer took turns reading, Ethan listening with heavy eyes. Good night, champ. Michael kissed his forehead. Good night, my love. Jennifer did the same. Are you two going to stay together now? Ethan asked sleepily. Forever. The parents exchanged glances. Forever, Michael confirmed. Good. Ethan closed his eyes. Then I don't have to write letters anymore. In the hallway, Jennifer held Michael's arm. Did you mean? Every word. He looked at her. I know we have a lot to work on. Therapy, conversations, rebuilding. But Jennifer, I love you. I never stop loving you. And if you're willing to try, I am, she interrupted. 1,000 times I am. Michael kissed her right there in the hallway, a kiss full of promises and forgiveness. Do you want to sleep in our room tonight? He offered hesitantly. Just sleep, we can take it slow. I'd love that, Jennifer replied. The master bedroom had changed. New furniture, different decor, but the essence remained. I needed to change it, Michael explained. I couldn't sleep with everything the same. I understand. Jennifer touched the new bed. It's beautiful. Your side is still the left, he said softly. They got ready for bed with the awkwardness of a first date. When they finally lay down, they stayed side by side, not touching. This is strange, Jennifer laughed nervously. A little, Michael agreed. But good strange. He extended his arm, a silent invitation. Jennifer nestled against, his chest fitting perfectly as always. Better, she murmured against his t-shirt. Much better. Michael kissed her hair. Sleep, my love. We have our whole lives ahead of us. Jennifer fell asleep listening to Michael's heartbeat, at peace. For the first time in 3 years. The week began with new challenges. Jennifer officially took over as Chief Operating Officer, working to reorganize the chaos left by Richard. It's worse than we thought, she reported to Michael after days of analysis. He diverted at least 5 major clients. Can we get them back? 3 for sure, the other 2. Jennifer showed the contracts, already signed with the competition. Michael rubbed his temples. How much loss? Millions. But we can recover if we act fast. Jennifer already had a plan. New clients, service expansion, you and your plans. Michael smiled despite the situation, always saving the day. Team, remember? She winked. They worked tirelessly. Jennifer rediscovering the thrill of corporate challenges, Michael trusting her completely. It was Daniel who brought the worst news. Michael, Jennifer, you need to see this. He entered the office pale. What happened? Michael was alarmed. Richard, he's giving interviews, talking about... Daniel looked at Jennifer. About you. Jennifer froze. What is he saying? Daniel turned on the tablet. On the screen, Richard was speaking to a sensationalist, reporter. Faked her own death. Michael Anderson was deceived like the rest of us. What kind of woman does that? And now he takes her back as if nothing happened. Michael turned it off furiously. That bastard. He's trying to divert attention from his crimes, Jennifer analyzed coldly. Using my story as a smokescreen. I'll sue him for defamation. Michael grabbed the phone. No, Jennifer stopped him. That's what he wants. More drama, more attention. Then what do we do, Jennifer thought. We tell the truth, our truth, we control the narrative. An interview. Michael understood. Jennifer, are you sure? We can't let him speak for us, she was determined. I'll tell my version, own my mistakes, take away his power. Michael studied her with admiration. You've changed. You're stronger. The streets teach you, Jennifer shrugged. I learned to fight. Daniel arranged everything. A respected journalist, a controlled setting. Jennifer mentally prepared to expose her life. The night before the interview, Ethan noticed the tension. Why are you worried? Mom's going to speak on TV tomorrow, Michael explained simply. Talk about when she was away. Will she talk about me? Ethan asked. I'll say you were my strength, Jennifer hugged him. That thinking of you kept me alive. Cool. Ethan didn't grasp the implications. So I'm going to be famous. His innocence eased the tension. They laughed together, a family united against the world. In bed, Michael held Jennifer tightly. You don't have to do this. Yes, I do. She caressed his face. For us, to finally clear the past. So brave, he murmured. How did I get so lucky? I'm the lucky one. Jennifer kissed him. You waited for me even when you thought I was dead. I'd have waited forever, Michael confessed. They made love for the first time since reuniting. Slowly, rediscovering, healing wounds with touches and whispers. I love you, Jennifer cried with emotion. So much. Shh. Michael kissed her tears. I'm here. I always will be. They fell asleep entwined, strengthened by each other. The interview was intense. Jennifer told everything. The misdiagnosis, the panic, the wrong decision, life on the streets. She didn't spare herself, owning every mistake. I was a coward, she said, looking straight at the camera. I hurt the people I love most. But I'm here now trying to make it right. It's all I can do. The reporter was fair, without sensationalism. When asked about Richard, Jennifer was direct. He betrayed my husband's trust. He took advantage of a moment of weakness for his own gain. My mistakes don't justify his crimes. Michael watched from the sidelines, pride and love in his eyes. The reaction was immediate. Opinions were divided, but Jennifer's honesty touched many. Letters of support poured in, stories from others who had faced impossible choices. Richard tried to counter, but his credibility was destroyed, especially after more evidence of his crimes surfaced. It's over, Michael said a week later. He's been convicted, 5 years in prison. I feel sorry for his family, Jennifer murmured. Always so empathetic, Michael kissed her head, even toward those who don't deserve it. Life slowly returned to normal. Jennifer settled into a routine at the company, earning respect for her competence. Ethan thrived with his family whole again. It was on an ordinary Saturday when Michael popped the question, "Marry me?" Jennifer nearly dropped her coffee cup. "We're already married." "No." Michael knelt right there in the kitchen. "That marriage ended 3 years ago. I want a new one, a real fresh start." "Michael," Tears streamed down her face. "Jennifer Anderson, will you marry me again? I promise to love you. Trust you and never let you run away again." "Yes," she laughed and cried at the same time. "1,000 times yes." Ethan came running in. "Why is Mommy crying?" "We're getting married again." Michael pulled him into the hug. "All of us together." "Can I be the best man?" Ethan beamed. "Not just the best man." Jennifer kissed his cheek. "The most important part of the whole celebration." They planned. A simple ceremony. Family, close friends, no extravagance. What mattered was the meaning. Amanda cried when she heard. "Finally, you two took long enough." "Some things need time." Jennifer hugged her sister-in-law. "Will you be my maid of honor?" "Like you even had to ask." The preparations were joyful. They chose to hold it in the same garden where they'd married the first time, reclaiming the space. "Are you sure?" Michael asked when they visited the location. "We could pick somewhere else." "No." Jennifer laced her fingers with his. "I want to rewrite those memories. Make new ones, better ones." The night before the wedding, Jennifer found Ethan writing. "What are you doing, sweetheart?" "A letter," he showed her. "But this time, it's different." "Dear Mommy, who's here, Skiffon," she read. "Thank you for coming back. Daddy smiles again. I do too. We're happy. I love you. Ethan." Jennifer hugged her son, too moved for words. The wedding day dawned perfect. Golden sun, gentle breeze. Jennifer wore a simple, elegant dress. No veil, no traditions. Just her, authentic. Michael waited at the makeshift altar, Ethan by his side. When he saw her, his eyes shone with pure emotion. The ceremony was intimate, personal. They wrote their own vows. "Jennifer," Michael began, voice thick, "you taught me that true love survives everything. Distance, time, even what seemed like death. I promise to never take you for granted again. Every day will be a choice to love you." "Michael," Jennifer replied through tears, "you showed me what real forgiveness is. Unconditional love. I promise to never run again, to face every storm by your side, to choose you both every single day." Ethan presented the rings with childish solemnity. "Now we're a family again." "We always were." Michael pulled him into the embrace. "We just needed to remember." The kiss sealed more than a marriage. It sealed resilience, rebirth, proof that true love can survive the impossible. The small reception was joyous. They danced, laughed, celebrated life. Jennifer watched Michael spin Ethan on the dance floor, her heart overflowing. "Happy?" Amanda sidled up. "Complete," Jennifer corrected. "Finally complete." When they cut the cake, Ethan insisted on the first bite. They all ended up smeared, in frosting, laughing like kids. "Speech," someone called. Michael took the microphone. "Thank you all for being here, for witnessing not just a wedding, but a miracle. The miracle of love that endures, of a family rebuilt." Jennifer completed. "We've learned there's no such thing as a perfect life, but there is a perfect choice. To choose love every day, to choose to stay, to choose to fight. Thank you for being part of our choice." Emotional applause. Ethan tugged at his mother's dress. "Can I talk too?" Jennifer handed him the microphone. The boy took a deep breath. "I used to have a mom in heaven. Now I have a mom on earth. It's much better." The end. Laughter and tears mingled, childlike purity summing it all up. The celebration continued into the evening. Lights twinkled, soft music played. Jennifer and Michael danced slowly, Ethan between them. "Where are we going for the honeymoon?" she asked. "I thought we could stay home," Michael suggested. "Just the three of us, making up for lost time." "Perfect," Jennifer agreed. "I don't need Paris. I need you." "Paris can wait," Michael promised. "We have a lifetime." "A lifetime," Jennifer repeated, savoring the words. When Ethan finally fell asleep in his father's arms, they decided to head home. They said goodbye to their guests, grateful for the shared love. At home, they tucked Ethan into bed together. The boy opened his sleepy eyes. "Now it's forever." Right? Forever, they confirmed in unison. In their room, still dressed in their wedding attire, they danced without music, just the sound of two hearts beating in sync. "Thank you," Jennifer whispered. "For what? For not giving up on me, on us?" "Impossible to give up," Michael spun her gently. "You're my life. And you're mine." Jennifer rested her head on his chest. "My choice, every day." When they finally went to sleep, tangled together like puzzle pieces, Jennifer reflected on their journey, from executive to beggar, from dead to reborn, from lost to found. "What are you thinking about?" Michael asked in the dark. "How life takes unexpected turns." She traced patterns on his chest. "A year ago, I was sleeping on the streets. Today you're where you've always belonged," he finished. "Home, home, the sweetest word in the world." "Michael, yes? Can we have another baby?" The question slipped out. "A sibling for Ethan?" Michael was quiet for a moment. "Do you want that?" "I want everything," Jennifer confessed. "Everything we lost, everything we can have. Then we will..." He kissed her. "As many babies as you want." "Just one more," she laughed. "Or two. Or three," Michael teased. "Let's start with one," Jennifer decided. They made love with promises of the future, of life growing, family expanding, love multiplying. Months later, Jennifer watched Ethan play in the garden. Her belly had begun to show beneath her light dress. Daydreaming, Michael hugged her from behind. Counting blessings, she covered his hands on her stomach. So many blessings. "Mom, Dad," Ethan ran to them. "Can the baby play?" "Yet? Not yet." Michael scooped him up. "But soon." "I'll teach them everything," Ethan promised. "Soccer, video games, making messes." "Less mess," Jennifer laughed. "More love." "Love too," Ethan agreed. "Lots of love." They walked inside together, a family complete and growing. In the living room's picture frame, their wedding photo shone. 3 genuine smiles, eyes full of hope. Jennifer touched the glass gently. They had survived the impossible. Faked death, lost years, betrayal, and pain. But love had endured. Stubborn, resilient, eternal. "Ready for the ultrasound tomorrow?" Michael asked. "Can't. Wait." Jennifer nestled into him. "Finding out if it's a boy or a girl doesn't matter," Ethan chimed in. "I'll love them anyway." And so, curled up on the couch, they planned their future. A future earned with tears, built on forgiveness, sustained by daily choices to love. Outside, the bustle of New York City carried on. But inside, in the apartment that had witnessed goodbye and reunion, there was only peace. The peace of those who had weathered the storm and found the sun. Jennifer closed her eyes, listening to Michael read to Ethan, her protective hand resting on the new miracle growing inside her. There were no guarantees in life. She had learned that the hard way, but there were choices, and she chose this. Every day, forever. The beggar who looked like Mom had found her way home. The end of the story. So, dear listener, what did you think of Jennifer and Michael's journey? If you also believe in the power of forgiveness and true love, leave your like and subscribe. Comment where you're watching from. Your opinion means so much to us. Thank you for being here.